Okay, so now we're ready to move on to path C. Okay, so let's go back to path A, second question, because this is a good one to duplicate because those buttons are already there. And we need 3 other options here. For path C, duplicate, and we'll rename path C, second question. Okay, there we go, path C. Let's copy in the new text from the document. That again is linked in the description of the video. Okay, so path C, second question right here. So you ask your sister how late she needs you for babysitting. How does she respond? And then we're going to replace the button text. So I'll do the first one and then you can do the other two. So path C, first option. Okay, so it would help to get off of that text there. There we go. So if you ever have trouble clicking in here, just click down here. So the first one is I'll need you till 10 p.m. So why don't you go back to the document and do the same thing for button 2 and 3, and then we'll meet back here. Okay, so I've now changed the text on those buttons. So we have I need you till 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and 12 a.m. Okay, so let's change this avatar. Now you don't have to change her. You can leave her the same. But I'm going to change her to asking a question. Okay, we'll use this one and we'll tweak the position of her after. And the timeline, I'm going to modify some of these here because they're labeled A and this is path C now. Okay, so why don't you go do the 2 other ones here. Okay, so I've now renamed those to C2 path C and C3 path C. And I also renamed this to path C question number 2. Okay, so we can leave pretty much everything else the same, I think. Okay, so now we can make the end result layers for path C. So I'm going to go to B1. Now there's a reason why I'm doing this. Path B, B1 here, this button 1 end result. Okay, because I want to just use the ones where she's already kind of in this position, smiling, because it's a positive answer. And then I'll use B1 again, and then we'll use path A for the third one. So I'll show you that. Let's duplicate this one. So we don't have to delete buttons out if we do it this way, because they're already gone. And then just rename. Okay, so we have path C, button 1, and result 1. Okay, and then we can use B1 again, or we could just use this one. Okay, so duplicate. And now we're just going to rename that to have button 2 there instead of button 1. It's the second button. And it's the second result for path C. End result there. Okay, so button 1, button 2, and now button 3 is the one that's saying that she needs her till 12 a.m., meaning she really can't go to the party. I mean, you could, but so we're just, for this example, we're going to say she can't. So I'm going to go to path A, button 2, that end result, because that was a negative one, so she's disappointed. So then we don't have to create as much. Duplicate that one and then rename it. So it's a good idea to use your e-learning example or whatever you're building with Articulate Storyline 360 as a tool, so you don't have to do as much work. So if you find a layer that's already almost what you need, duplicate that one. So that's what we're doing here. So let's label this path C, button 3, and result number 3. So before we go any further, let's just go back to the main layer here. We need to create a trigger to show path C. Show layer, path C, second question, when user clicks button 3. There. Now it'll show up. Okay, let's go back to path C, second question. And we're just going to modify the triggers here. So hide layer, this layer, when the state of at least one button is selected. So let's just double check that. Yeah, okay. And then show layer path C button 1. So we're gonna make sure all these are working correctly. Now another way to do this, instead of just clicking here and going to edit, you can just do it right here. So what layer do you want to show for button 1? We want to show this one for button 1 and result 1. When the user clicks button 1, this one show layer, we want the second one this time. When user clicks button 2, and this one, third one. When we click button 3, there. All right, so I think everything is there, but this is why we preview. If something's not right, we can come back and we can tweak it. Okay, so we're in the base layer here. Let's go to path C. There we go. You ask your sister how late she needs you. These are the responses. Okay, so we got to tweak these now, but I just wanted to, let's go back to try again. Okay, so there we go. All right, so we will need to tweak those now. Okay, so let's go to end result number 1. We don't have anything to delete in terms of the buttons, but we need to replace the text. So let's go do that. So here we are, path C, end result number 1. Okay, so there we go. We can just leave it like that, or you could put this on a different line. It's up to you what you want to do. Okay, and we can leave her like that. We'll tweak the size later and position. Let's just change this text here. Okay, so that's good now. And the try again button is there. Yep. So I think that's all we really have to do for that one. Okay, let's go to the second one. So why don't you try these two on your own? So you just need to replace the text from the document. This is going to be your end result number 2 for path C. So I'll just show you. So you'll just copy in this one, path C end result number 2, and path C end result number 3 for the next layer. Okay, so you can try that, and then I'll show you what I did. So we're right here, and then you can tweak the avatar as well. So if it's a positive result, I just put the happy expression. If it's a negative, then I put the disappointed expression. So you can decide what you want to do yourself and then see what I did. Okay, so go try those 2 layers on your own, and then I will walk you through what I did. Okay, so I've now finished path C, button 2 and 3 end results. I also went over here, so go back to button 2 here, and I just renamed the text for the scenario there, just so it's less confusing. So path C, B2, N2, and then for this one, path C, B3, N3. And I copied in the text there from the document, and I changed the avatar just to make sure it was the same as last time. But like I said, you could leave her with arms crossed, it doesn't really matter. And then we had the disappointed look there, so I didn't change that one. So I didn't really do too much. Everything else, the try again button was already there. So that's about it. Now let's go preview, and then we should probably tweak some of these positions because they're kind of jumping all around, as you can see. So we'll have to go back from the beginning and do it because just to make sure it's seamless with our positions. So path C, 10 p.m. She's happy. Path C, 11 p.m. She's happy. Path C, 12 a.m. Oh, she won't be able to go to the party. Okay, so it works. Let's just tweak some of the positions. So I'm going to just go back here. And we can kind of look at it by just flipping through. So I think that one's okay. That's okay. That one, I think that one shifts a bit. So I'm just going to see what this one is. So the way you do that, you just go to the size and position. 153, 633, and the position is 556, 75. 56. Okay, so let's just look at that again. There. That one's shifting too. It says it's the same, so it just might be the, let's check the size, 183, 633. Now they might be a little different because if we're using different poses, right? So I wouldn't mess with that too much. You can just adjust it to eyeball it, but the position you can change a bit. I think those are okay. It might just be the shifting from the different poses. So you can see what I'm doing now. So you could go and do that to yours as well. And just double check all of these. Because when it jumps a lot, it doesn't look as nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go tweak the rest of them and then we'll be back. So you can do the same thing to yours because yours might be slightly different. Okay, I've tweaked all the positions the best I can. So because they're different poses, it's not gonna be perfect, but we can make it look a little bit better by going back through and adding animations to all of them. So if you go back to the main layer, if you go to animations here, so we click this one, we have a fade on that one, so it looks pretty good, but I don't think that happened to all the other ones yet because we were duplicating sometimes, but sometimes we were creating from scratch. So it's a good idea to go back and now make sure they're on these ones too. So there's nothing on that one. So let's just go back through and add a fade animation to all those. So I'll let you do that and then we'll come back. Okay, I've now added a fade animation to all of that. So let's go preview this and to see if there's anything else we want to tweak. We might have to add some other fades to some other things too. Okay, so path A, so it faded this time. There we go, there's a fade there. This is still path A. Path A, path B, fade. Path B, and path C. I'm just going through all the choices here. Okay, so I think that looks better. Now let's just replay this from the beginning here. Do we need some fades on something else, like text? Let's go back and just double check that there's options like that on all the text. So as long as you're in the animation tab here, if you see this little star, it indicates there's a animation on something there. So that would be the text box, I believe. So as long as we've duplicated, we should have that everywhere. Now the try again button, I don't think we put something on that, so we might want to do that. So these are just little things you can do. So let's just do that for the try again button. So you can go back and do that now. I'm just going to add that to the try again button on every layer that it appears. Okay, so I've now added a fade on the try again button on every layer that it appears. So the last thing we can do is just an enhancement, so you don't need to do this, is we can add those balloons coming up on the positive results. So let's just go to one where she was happy. Here's one. So we'll go to the Insert tab here, to Illustrations, search for balloon. And I use these three here, so you can use whatever you'd like. Okay, so let's just go with this one first. Okay, I'll be resizing this in a second. Let's just get them on here. So you can just eyeball these if you'd like. I'm just going to make them a little smaller. So I'll just drag it over this one. Yeah, it's about the same. You can also go to size and position if you want to make it exact. Okay, so that's about the same. Bring that down, so it doesn't really matter how you do this. One key thing though, if you're making an animation like this, is you want to place these where you want them to end up. So we don't want them to end up at the bottom here. We want them to float through to the top. So they're going to be above your slide, like this. I know it might seem strange, but that's what helps it to work the way you want. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure they're really off the screen here. And you can even like rotate them slightly if you'd like that. There, something like that. Okay, move that up a little. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now we're just going to add in fly-in animations and fly-out animations. And then we're going to tweak when they come in also. So if I go down here, so this is the red one, and that's the group of them, and that's the blue one. The group ones, this is this one. Have that start at 0. And then the, let's move this one down. Okay, doesn't really matter, but so you decide how you'd like to do it. This is the blue one on the right, and then the red one. So they're a second apart. Okay, so you can just tweak it down there, and then we can add the animations. So it's going to be, I think, almost the same on each one, but they're going to be delayed. Okay, so now we're going to add the animations to each of the balloons. So we'll just look at the middle one here first. We're having that one come in first. We don't have to. We can have the left one come in first. It's up to you. So I'll just scroll up here so you can see it. And we're going to have it fly in for 9 seconds. Okay, so make sure that takes, sometimes it doesn't, from the bottom. And then fly out for 1 second. So it kind of redid it there. So let's do that again. Just maybe go up and down a second. There we go. Okay. So we wanted to fly in for 9 seconds from the bottom and fly out for 1 second to the top. Okay, and the next one, we'll do this one next. Fly in for 7 seconds. So this is all arbitrary, it's just what I picked. Just make sure that takes, and that's from the bottom. Fly out for 1 second to the top. Okay, and the last one, we want it to fly in for 5 seconds from the bottom and fly out for 1 second to the top. Okay, let's save that and let's preview this. Okay, now there's one other thing we have to do. So that works pretty good, I think. But it went over the text, so we're just going to send them all to behind the text. And then we'll copy it to the other layers that had positive results. So just hit Control on your keyboard and select them all. Format, and we're going to just arrange, send backward. Now we don't want to send it all the way back. We just want to make sure the text is on top. So you can either do that or you can drag this down, but I'm just going to do it slowly here. I might have to do it a couple times. Okay, so now the text is on top. So let's just go preview that, see if that worked. Okay, path A, first one. Okay, so now the text is in front of the balloons. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. So we're almost done. So if you want to then copy this enhancement for the balloons, just to the other slides that have positive results there, where she's able to go to the party, just Control C. And we'll go copy that. So let's see, end result number 2, nope. Not that one. Let's see, path B. Yep, okay, so this one's good, so copy it there. And again, you're gonna have to make sure that it's behind the text. Okay, so we have to go up here to arrange, send backward. Now, you can try moving it, but you'd have to move it one at a time. So I'm just doing this so I don't have to do that. Okay, so there's the text and there's your balloons. Okay, and path B, end result number 2, no, and path C, end result number 1, yes. And then arrange it. There we go, behind the text right here. And result number 2, yes. And send it backward. There we go, it's behind the text. And the last one is not favorable, so we won't put it there. Okay, so we're pretty much done, unless you want to add some background music. So again, to do that, you would just go to the main layer and you'd add it in here and it would play through. But if it's not long enough, I can show you a little trick to do that. So just bear with me a second and I'll put some music in here and then I'll show you. So you would just go to Insert, Audio, Audio from File. So find some music that you'd like and I'll meet you back here in a second. Okay, so I've copied in my theme music here. And you can see in the timeline, it goes to about 142 seconds. So if someone takes a while on this slide because there's a lot to click through, or if you want to try different options, it might stop, right? So first let's just create a trigger to have it play. Okay, so play media, audio 1, when the timeline starts on this slide. Okay, and then if you want to continue, you have it play media, audio 1, when media completes on audio 1. So you're going to just play it over again. So you're going to start your music over again when the audio completes. Here we go. Okay, so now let's preview the whole thing and we're done. So I'm just going to click through quickly the different options, and you can always tweak things at this point if you'd like. Okay, so we're in path A. So this is end result number 1. Path A, end result number 2. Path A, and result number 3. Now let's look at path B, and result number 1. Path B, and result number 2. Path C, and result number 1. And path C, and result number 2. And path C, and result number 3. Okay, that's everything, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it wasn't too difficult. I know it might be challenging with branching interactions, but this is probably one of the easiest ones you can do. You could have done it with just 2 initial questions. That will definitely cut down the number of layers you have to create. But you can see there's a lot of repetition in what you're doing. So as you get the hang of it, you're duplicating things. You're doing the same thing almost on every slide layer. So it's not too bad for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Just go back to the main one so we don't have her on there with her sad face. And I hope to see you in the next video where we look at the letter C. Hi everyone, so hope you enjoyed the video how to create a branching interaction from scratch using clickable buttons. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you'll get notified when we have new videos that have gone live. And as you know, we're working through the alphabet A through Z to teach you how to learn articulate storyline 360. All the different things that are involved with this program. And our next video will be on the letter C, so hope to see you back here when that video goes live. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now. Want to say hi, Spartacus? Okay, look up there. Look at the camera. You see the camera? Go. You see the camera? Okay. You just want food. All right. Okay, dinner time.